Hi guys, I'm Esther from Spicy Vegan, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make one of my favorite dishes ever, which is this one-pot lentil curry. This has no tomatoes in it, it's great for meal prep, it's great to serve for your guests, or it's great for a weeknight meal or lunch. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how I make this. Okay, let's get started with all the ingredients. You can pause the screen there if you want, but I'm going to go through them all as well. So we've got 1 can of full-fat coconut milk. You want to double check that label and make sure that it is a vegan coconut milk. And make sure that's a full fat because it's going to add a lot of flavor into the dish. We've got 1.5 cups of red split lentils. Make sure they're split because they cook the fastest. We've got 2.5 cups of veg broth, 4 cloves of minced garlic, a tablespoon of minced ginger, and then we have a bunch of dried spices here. So we have a tablespoon of hot chili powder, a tablespoon of curry powder, 1 1/2 teaspoons of ground cumin, and 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder. So those are all our spices. That's where we're going to get a lot of our flavor in this dish. And 1 tablespoon sweetener of choice. You can put sugar, maple syrup, whatever it is that you want. 1 large onion. I prefer a red onion, but I had a white onion in the house I had to use up, so I'm using that. For the veggies, we have 2 medium carrots. And we have 2 cups of spinach. You can add other veggies in here. It's pretty flexible for this recipe. So that's everything. We can get started by cutting our carrots. So I'm going to cut them into these tiny little half moon pieces like this. I want them small because I want them to cook fast. We're making this whole thing in under 30 minutes, including prep time. So we want to make sure it's going to cook fast, evenly, thoroughly, everything like that. Now, before I'm going to cut my onion, guys, I am going to put on my onion cutting goggles. So I cannot cut an onion without my eyes just watering and burning, and I hate it, so I always wear goggles. Those are my kitchen goggles. A little tip for you, if you didn't already know, you can use the back of your knife to scrape, your cut veggies, whatever, on your cutting board so that you don't dull your knife. My brother gave me that tip, and it's a really good tip for keeping your knife nice and sharp. So now we're going to loosely chop up the spinach. So I'm just kind of doing all my prep here, again, using the back of the knife. And I'm going to rinse my lentils thoroughly. You want to rinse your lentils really well before you use them. So we're going to give them a good little rinse now, a medium saucepan on medium heat, a little bit of olive oil in there, and we're going to add in just our carrots and onion. Don't put the spinach in yet. We want to cook these down now on medium heat for about 3 minutes until those onions are slightly translucent. Once those are cooked down, we're going to add in our ginger and garlic, cook that down for another minute. Make sure that nothing's sticking to the bottom of the pan. Now make sure you have your vegetable broth ready ahead of time because we're going to add in all our dried spices here, but we don't want them to stick to the bottom of the pan. We don't want them to burn, so you have to be really careful with this. You want to mix really thoroughly and have that vegetable broth on hand before you dump the dried spices in. So stir constantly, make sure you're not burning those to the bottom of the pan, just for a few seconds, just to kind of get the aromatics going in those carrots and onions there. And as soon as you have them thoroughly mixed around, you want to add your broth right away. So I've got my broth ready here. I'm going to dump that in, add that in. Should probably stop saying dump that in, just add it in. I'm gonna add in my lentils, all my red lentils there. There's some stuck to the bowl, so I'm gonna add those in. Once I have everything in here, I'm gonna give it a good stir, mix it in really well. I'm gonna bring it to a boil, and then I'm gonna reduce it to a simmer for 12 minutes. Split red lentils actually cook really fast, so just once that's boiling, you just reduce that down to a simmer. And then once that's all done, we can add in our sweetener. So I have maple syrup, add in our spinach. So since it's chopped, again, it's not going to take long to wilt, it's not going to take long to cook. I'm going to mix that all together, and I'm going to add in my coconut milk. Before you add it in, save 1 to 2 tablespoons of the fatty part of the coconut milk for a garnish if you want. Now I'm going to cook that for 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to add in a little salt and pepper to taste. Make sure you're tasting that to get it exactly how you want. I'm going to garnish it with some cilantro, which is optional. Serve it with some naan bread and with some basmati rice. You can serve it however you want. It's a curry. You can just eat it straight up as like a soup or whatever you want. And then I'm going to drizzle that little bit of coconut milk as a garnish just because it looks so pretty. And that is all ready to go. Okay, it is time for the taste test. Whoa, I almost just lost my whole bowl of curry. Wow, that is so good. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video on my one-pot lentil curry. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this one, just make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below.